If you're watching this now, Update 51 with the Bomb Paragon, among other features, is officially out, so go download it. And before I go over the main premise of this video, aka 1 to 100 bomb, let's go over everything else I got added here. So, for 1, trophy store items, we'll always go through that. A new Halloween magic avatar, an ice walrus, a fall banner, and Mohawk balloons. Let's also officially unlock the bomb shooter Paragon here, so a Ballistic Obliteration Missile Bunker. Here we go, and what is probably the first of many, many runs to come involving it. There's also a new Oben skin, in case you missed it. Skeletor Oben is a collab with Masters of the Universe. IAP only, by the way. Speaking of the IAP of Rogue Legends, the DLC did get a huge amount of changes this update, so if that tickles your fancy, then yeah, check it out and code ISAB if you haven't. Now that that's out of the way, begin the test, starting at degree 1, and we're going to use the new map 3 Mines Around for it, because NinjaKiwi specifically designed this map to be as good as possible for late game, so dare I believe it's better than Logs, especially for the bomb shooter, for where its attacks are concentrated in a cluster. Well, we'll find out. And also, just in case you missed the initial showcase of this map, as a unique mechanic where you have to spend money to get rid of the line of sight here. It also gives you money at the end of the round. Now, one thing I can tell you off the bat is that this is going to be a pretty flawed test. As you can see, the level 1 bomb has an incredibly slow attack rate, and that's just the nature of the Paragon. Its identity as a Paragon is supposed to be slow attacking, high damage, but that doesn't bode well if it's the only bomb on the only tower on the screen, and despite our quote-unquote best efforts, yes, we're dead to around 102. Yeah, that's insane, and I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to test this degree 1 properly, at least compared to other Paragons, but I'll try my best. For one, let me go back a few rounds just so that we can actually remove the line of sight first. Probably dies the same round anyway, but you never know with these tests. Actually, now that I look at it, it does seem like the line of sight is blocking us. You might notice occasionally there is an attack that just doesn't work, either because it hits the line of sight blockers first, and so it doesn't detonate at all. There we go, finally everything got removed. Maybe things look better now. We are able to get back to round 100, however, it still seems a bit unreliable. So I'm gonna just switch it back to first in the meantime, and also do make sure to use the ISAB M ability. Yes, that is unironically what it is called, in case you missed it. NinjaKiwi did a really cool thing with that naming convention, which I appreciate. And there is the Bomb Blitz ability activated. For those, again, who are out of the loop, they changed the Bomb Blitz so that it can activate without losing lives anymore. However, we didn't get the Bomb Blitz back there, and so we just straight up die. Now, because I want to see the true highest round of this guy, I think I gotta beat 103 without leaking activating Bomb Blitz, so let's see if I can time the ISAB M properly to avoid that. So how it works is that it will seek to its target, however, that's not what I wanted there. What if I use ISAB M now? Because technically, yeah, using that before it reaches its target will damage the balloons very consistently. Now, I see the biggest issue with this. The projectile radius isn't big enough, so that's why it doesn't get the balloons on the other side of where it's hitting. So it's kind of funny to think about how NinjaKiwi kind of designed this map to be used for, well, the Bomb Paragon, but it's actually not that great. I reckon if it was BADs on the other side, it would be able to hit, so maybe that was NinjaKiwi's intention rather than, oh, this map is supposed to be the perfect map for this guy to get the highest round. So even though it's a pretty simple Paragon, it's a pretty high ceiling in the sense that you can manipulate, can make it do a lot more damage by having the ISAB M, or ISAB Missile, fly longer than it did there, because it just went straight to its target, which was not that far away. So by that, I mean now. There we go, see what I'm doing? Yes. That looped for a good bit longer, but I don't know if that's long enough. I think we probably leak eventually. In case you were unaware, Bomb Shooter Paragon can't see camos, that's why I just got a 400 down here. I don't got all day here, and I guess I feel the need to say this right now, but I'm going through a pretty busy time right now, so kind of bad timing with the update. So there's actually not going to be too much time for me, unfortunately, to cover things, except for what I'm doing right now. I say that because while I'd love to sweat my ass off to be around a 104, it feels incredibly unlikely to get it in a reasonable amount of time without crashing out. When in doubt, Logs has got us. Now, the slow attack rate still does not bode well for 103 there, but you never know. I'm gonna use the ISAB if that clump of cerams leaks. Okay, I gotta use it now for that. Explode that. And no. Guys, the only way through 104 is to beat 103 without help. I had a good ISAB there, but what does that lead to with the low attack speed? Come on, I gotta get this lane. Good. Okay, we got it. Finally. Now, again, I bet you I could do this on 3 mines around 2. But whatever the case, it doesn't appear like Logs is any worse than it, at least so far. Fortifieds? No issue either, it seems. And with the Bloon Crush effects, no issue with 107 either. Okay, 109 was tricky because I had to use an activation on 108. Oh, you know what I find interesting? Is that some of these sub-cluster explosions are incredibly weak. Like, they're not even strong enough to break down a fortified ceramic, which is kind of shocking for a Paragon. Okay, plan, just save the ISAB missile for if any of the cerams leak during the downtime. I think here, I gotta use it. Yeah, I'm not gonna chance it. Now? And chase? Oh yeah, perfect. That was the longest lasting ISAB I've seen. A whole, like, 3 seconds. Absolutely insane. I'm just gonna tank 109 here. Hope we're fine for 110. This is probably expected, but nice. Got a Bomb Bullets for 111, but the Degree 100 test is gonna be much, much more simpler for me. And a hell of a lot more hands-off. Leaked some lives there, but whatever. It wasn't my intention to drop down to 40 lives, but it happened anyway. I also accidentally used my Bomb Blitz, but oh well. This round, let's do last rating. That gets bad 2 and bad 3. With bad 1 needing a bit more damage, but bads are easy rounds, unsurprisingly. At this point, I'm just saving the ISAB missile exclusively for ceramics, because it doesn't seem to do much. Like, it doesn't help against ZMGs because the main attack already stuns and knocks back. So there's really no point in having it pop earlier. Just think of the Bomb Paragon as a Bloon Crush. 124 was impossible for me to not get Bomb Blitz ability off. The Fortifieds are just too strong, so I now gotta beat 125 without the Bomb Blitz ability, but that's proving to be a lot more difficult than it seems, just because of the sheer amount of Bloons. There's just constantly ceramics going through. Again, I'm willing to push some limits, but if I can't get this within the next dozen tries, I might have to wave in the white towel here, or the white flag. Alright, I might come back to this in another session, but I think I've reached about my limit. Last try here. If it dies, it dies. This is really good. Wait, why is this one lasting so long? There seems to be something interesting whenever I say last try, where somehow we get the godliest of luck. Wait, don't say that. Needs a shot? Nope. We had ungodly luck with that missile there, and it still didn't work out. I think that about says it all about the Degree 1, which, by the way, here's how it stacks up compared to the other Degree 1 Paragons, yeah. Not great, but the 100 can absolutely redeem us. And we're jumping back to 3 mines around here, because I don't think the weaknesses that you saw in Degree 1 are going to be as prevalent in Degree 100. For one, Degree 100 will have almost double the attack speed, so I believe the cerams not being hit on the right side won't be as much of an issue. Not to mention, it's not just the attack speed that gets doubled, it's also the Blitz cooldown. You saw it activate on 129 there, and I forgot to mention that it's a 2-minute cooldown at base, so that's why we're unable to get it in the next round with the Degree 1 test, but at Degree 100, the cooldown is now only 70 seconds, so almost double, and thus almost assuredly would have been back by now. other stats, I believe it is a relevant time to point out that ISAB does 150k damage, 300k, after getting a degree 100. So yeah, one-shotting a bad F-Bat there shouldn't really be a surprise. The ISAB missile also has a really fast cooldown of like 17 seconds right now because the base is 30. So because I didn't want to just keep spamming the ability for the next dozen plus round tier, I decided just to enable the tech bot mod in the shop, so I can just let that take the wheel for me. And even despite using that, I'm dead to 158, so maybe Tree Mines Around is still not the best map for it. I did have it on close there because I thought explosions would be more consistent, but let's just put it back on first and see what happens. Should be noted that every single degree 100 Paragon at this point has made it to round 200, so it would be a surprise if this thing didn't. I know it definitely can, but the question is more, how many times do I have to retry a round in order to get there? Because on first, we're dead to 168 now. Perhaps I'll do a little bit of close targeting to change things up. And yeah, it's basically just trial and error. Got back the bomb ability again this time. But the more I look at it, the more I feel like I think we should go back to logs here. Eventually, the speed of the DTs and Cerams make up for the increased attack speed of degree 100. They zoom so fast that they're definitely going to get by the bomb at some point. Also, late addition, but probably fair to just put a sub in the middle here. Because if a bad pops into DDTs on the right side, then right now it would take all the way until here for it to decamo, so that little bit of extra time for the bomb to hit might help in having to retry less. Okay, I gotta assume it did something because we have yet to die since round 168. We did activate bomb blitz a few times, but no actual death. Round 200 achieved most likely, but round 200 shouldn't be the number we're looking at because based on the price of the Paragon, 600k, we should compare it to the price of similar Paragons, and looking back at the list here, I feel like it makes sense to, I don't know, aim for 230. It's not fully proportional, you know, price to power late game, but close enough, and let's slow down round 200 here. As you see, yep, that's pretty much exactly 300k damage. And this is going to be good because I believe the ISAB missile does splash damage, so we just did, I believe, 300k damage twice there. We got the second bomb along with it, and get the DT, and nice. I think we ought to put it on strong now, just because the ISAB does target the follow the target priority. So I'll take the risk of possibly leaking more, just so that we can get the damage exactly on where the balloons we planted on, like there. I also quickly realized I'm probably wrong in thinking that degree 100 is easier to test than degree 1. Because now that we're getting to crunch time, the exact same thing is happening. I have to redo rounds prior if I end up using Bomb Blitz, but I need it this round, for example. So, let's see. Yeah, see? Gotta somehow beat round 207 without the Bomb Blitz, or just activate it really early so it comes up again for when I need it on 208. Okay, this is taking too damn long. Let's try a different map first. Logs does not seem to be much better. I'm still activating the Bomb Blitz ability. It's just, they're too fast at this point, man. Yeah. So 3 mines around is really the best we can do, eh? If so, that really sucks. And a quick demonstration why Resort is way worse than Logs and or 3 mines around. Even though it does get a very good, like, blast radius right in the center here, it's almost certainly going to activate Bomb Blitz often because that last lane has very little time for the bomb to hit it. So anything that gets through is pretty much GG for it. Although, so far, it seems like the good clusters are making up for the very bad last lane. So maybe let's hold my thoughts there for a second. Nah, who am I kidding? I mean, you saw it right there. See this ceramic? Yep, you don't want to activate it there. Now we're dead here. Okay, back to 3 mines round for the last hurrah. We're back in our lower round because I can't even get back to the round that I last left off at. Kind of sad. All that to say is that even if I do get through 207, 208, like, it's gonna be GG anyway. And we're not gonna come close to 230. I'm sure some brave soul out there can absolutely brute force this round and probably get, I don't know, at least a dozen more. But I think I've about reached my limits here if I'm not able to get this again. Yeah, it just keeps activating at 2 of 4 now. I don't know. Oh, it worked this time. Please don't leak to the balloon insides, please. I swear. Okay. Finally, all that just to get back to a previous round. Yeah, I think I'm just about done here. I just realized, too, that, like, it's bad for free play because there's gonna be multiple F-Bats coming in around, but I can only damage one at a time with the ability. Unless they're on top of each other, but that's not always gonna happen. So, one last try here. But 2 separate bats this round makes things incredibly hard, not to mention all the other crap leaking. But yeah, I'm sorry, this is just brutal to test. Overall, this performed the worst out of every Paragon for degree 1 and not degree 100, but much lower for where its price point should be. But this only means it's not good solo. This doesn't mean you shouldn't use it in free play though, because 300k damage is no joke. Anyway, if you want to watch more videos, then subscribe for more, or click here for more of my other videos.